what happens when you get a Muslim and a Christian? You create a Hebrew Israelite. That's what you get. They was worried about that. They was scared about that. They didn't want nothing to happen like that. Malcolm X started talking about anywhere Martin Luther King go, I'm there. You want to start throwing rocks at them, we're going to shoot you. That's what he started saying. And when they met each other, they sat down, they said, next time we see each other, we're going to be 2 dead niggas. That's exactly what they said, and they wasn't lying. They already knew it. But they sacrificed. They sacrificed. See, in this world, we think that because we got these new technology, we got the iPhones, the Galaxies, that everything is good. This world is good. America is so beautiful. But it's a deceptive beautiful. It's a deceptive. You know the word Yafet. We got Shimham and Yafet. We say the Europeans come from Yafet. Yafet means beauty, but it also means he shall deceive. We're caught in this deceptive beauty. And even as Hebrew Israelites, we're struggling as Hebrews because we still have a cultural tie to this nation. We have a cultural tie to this nation. We feel that certain things is okay and we can still do the same thing. And this is why, although Asa said, he made the statement, he said, this year my children are pulled out of school. My Isha said the same thing. You know, especially the younger ones, they don't need to be subjected to any of this. We have to start fighting for our own salvation, King. Psalm 92. Hallelujah.
Psalm 92, verse 1. It is good thing to give thanks to the Most High and to sing praise to thy name, O Most High. Verse 2. To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. I will play upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon a psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, O Yah, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Most High, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A stupid man knoweth not, neither does a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity flourish, it is that they should be destroyed forever. But thou, Most High, are most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, O Most High, for lo, thy enemies shall perish, all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt, like the horn of a wild ox. I shall be anointed with fragrant oil. My eyes also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire against the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Those that are planted in the house of the Most High shall flourish in the courts of our Yah. They shall stand, they shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fair and desirable, to show that the Most High is upright, he is mighty, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Amen.
Most High talks about that. He says there's going to be a time when the wicked spring up as grass. They're going to be here. They're going to be flourishing. There's going to be a time when they're going to flourish. They flourishing now. They flourishing now. But the reason why they flourishing because they understand a deeper science than you do. They're using the science against you. Everything they're using is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. They're just using it for the wrong reasons. And they realize that I can give you a Bible and nothing will happen as long as you just keep it religious. That's how they did it. When you was in slavery, they said, you know what, we don't even want them in the churches. And they say, you know what, we're going to give it to you, but we're going to have one of our people sitting in this seat. You better teach it the way I want you to teach it. Teach it the way I want you to teach it. Peace, harmony, tranquility, loving our master. Turn your other cheek. All these things to keep you a slave. To keep you a slave. So now we have to understand that if this is the divine book, is it the book that enslaves us? Because when you really read the book is talking about liberation. It's talking about autonomy. It's talking about freedom. It's talking about breaking away. The first prophet to give you the Torah was a person that was about liberation. Moses found out who he was. He woke up. He said, hey, you know what? You ain't going to be beating up on my brother like that. He said, that ain't going to happen. And then he killed the man. He destroyed the man. He said, yo, buried him. Then he went back to say, hey, brothers, we don't need to be fighting. Who are you? You know our people. As soon as you're doing something good and you try to correct them, they want to say, who are you? So that shows the classical conditioning of a slave. Even in the process of liberation, there will be individuals that see that you're devoted about bringing your people out of a mindset, but then they're still going to have the same concept that they will only listen to the person that oppresses them. Nothing I say up here is true until you Google it, right? Yeah. If Google don't say it ain't true, it ain't true. It doesn't matter. Anybody ever heard the term coin called pseudo? Now, this is a term that's in the black conscious community now. You hear that? They say, oh, you're pseudoscience. You got pseudo information. No, pseudo is a term that means falsity, falseness, fake. But who coined the word? The European scientists. Why did they do that? What was pseudo? Pseudo was Kundalini. Pseudo was a third eye. Pseudo that was creation by a God that created the universe. Anything that was out of the aspects of the colleges and what they were teaching was considered to be pseudo. So anytime a black man is using that, he's pseudo. He doesn't understand because sometimes genetically it's in our genes that even though when we get a little taste of freedom, we become the oppressor. We become the oppressor. Some of us only want to become we only want to move up because we want to tell people to do something, what to do. Stand up for what's right. Let's go to Exodus, the 20th chapter. First verse. And we got two lessons today. We got one from Adon Halim, and then we got one from Adon Yahsuvel. So this should be interesting. And I love it. I mean, my thing is, there's so many people with so much wisdom. We sit out there for hours after the services, just talking. And all this stuff these brothers need to be teaching. You too, Saul. Yeah, don't be hiding. So we're going to get it. I mean, it's versatility, and this is the thing that I want you to understand. You might have a teacher that you like better. What's wrong with that? Nothing. They may say something that sparks inside of you. Who wants to hog all the glory? That's ignorant. That would be ignorance. That would be ignorance. That would be something that'll be destructive for an individual. You know how good it feel to have somebody else teaching on Shabbat? You can relax, right? You ain't got to come up with all this. I got to say something that somebody ain't never said before. Let me look into it. Oh, man. That's a burden off me. But the information is imperative because you hear from different people. When it comes from different people, it's here from every angle. And that's the thing. We have to come from different angles. There's parts of you that you haven't tapped into yet. And what's the most uncomfortable thing is things that you're not familiar with. That's what people got to realize. Oh, Aki, that stuff is, I don't understand it. It's over my head. I don't get it. That's how you grow, right? I mean, let's be real. In school, did you tell the teacher that? Oh, I don't get that. That's just too much for me. Oh, keep me at ABC. No, the job of a teacher is to inspire you to start stepping your game. You said some words that I didn't understand. Google it. Just Google it. If I say a word you don't understand, Google it. But this is what we can't do. We're here to breed intelligent people, not sheep. Yes. We do not want sheep. We had enough sheep for the longest. Absolutely. Wait, hey, brother, that's deep what you just said, but there's something wrong in that formula. Oh man, where is that wrong? It's right here, brother. Check it out. Do a little research. Check it out here, brother. Okay, cool. We go back. Guess what? That inspires each other. That's what people do at the lab. That's what scientists do. Somebody say, hey, this didn't work. Well, why didn't it work? I don't know. I think it didn't work. They come together on ideas and they're able to create. There's no creation without opposition. Come on, how many of y'all had that deep thought in your head? It was deep when you had it. And then you just throw it out to people and you forgot all the other stuff they were hitting. You was like, yeah, I should have thought of that. They hitting you, challenging it, and they hitting all the holes in your theory. Is that bad? That's good. That's good. You look thought out, brother, for not making me look like a fool. You gotta get brother, so the concept of the nature, the mature, you know, start breaking stuff down. The brother's like, that's stupid, brother. But your brothers are supposed to strengthen you. That's why we gotta create these study groups. We have to do these things. Because there's people out there that want to engage and go to different levels. And that's how we're gonna do. We're gonna elevate. Exodus 20.
Exodus 20, verse 1.
Okay.
And Yah spoke all these words, saying, I am the Most High your power, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other God except me. You shall not make for yourself any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Verse 5. You shall not worship them nor serve them, for I, the Most High your Yah, am a zealous power, visiting the offenses of the father upon the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. Verse 6. And showing mercy to thousands of generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. Verse 7. You shall not take a false oath in the name of the Most High your power, for the Most High will not declare him innocent who takes an oath in his name falsely. Verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Verse 9. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work. Verse 10. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High your power. In it you shall not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your maidservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor the sojourner who dwells in your towns. For in the 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the seas and all things that are in them, and rested on the Sabbath day. Therefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and sanctified it. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Most High your Yah gives you. Verse 13. Ye shall not kill. Ye shall not commit adultery. Ye shall not steal. Ye shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his man servant, nor his maid servant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor.
Hallelujah. Now, Most High, he made a distinction about worshiping something that's other than him, you know? He said, thou shalt not bow down to it. Now, I have to be clear. There's certain aspects of us that we allowed idolatry to creep up into this 2016 Hebrew Israelite community. You know, there's one thing to believe in a Messiah. There's a thing to believe in. There's one that's going to deliver us. There's one that came, and there's one that's going to come back and deliver us. That's an okay concept, right? But when we put him on the same level as God, we have issues. We have issues. Anytime we greet in the name of God and couple the name of God with another entity, then you have failed all the commandments of God. There's no sugarcoating it. Then we forget the real concepts of why God existed in the first place. What was different about our God that was different than anybody's God? Because our God was what? One. No matter how bad your mom want to make it 2 or 3, Yah bases it on 1, right? So when we greet, it's shalom. Blessed be the Most High. Hallelujah. Right. It's no Yahweh Bahashemi Yahweh Shah. I had to say that. And the reason why I say that is because if you do that, you forgot why Moses did not make it into the land. You forgot what Moses did. Why did Moses not make it into the land?
So he wouldn't be worshipped?
Yeah. 1, so he wouldn't be worshipped. And then when he did it, he said, should we give you drink? And the Most High said, because you didn't sanctify my name. See, when you see sanctify, you mean, what do you mean? What do you mean? That word kwadosh is to separate. Sovereign, detached from anything. Because you couple my name with you, you're not making it to the land. He said, who can you liken me unto? Moses said, who can you liken me unto? Moses did everything good. We love Moses. The one who brought down the Torah. The one who left Egypt. All this. He made one mistake. He made a mistake and he said, we. And he was upset. And he begged the Creator. He said, Creator, please let me into this land. So I said, no. He said, okay. I'm going to get this water over here. Moses, can I please get into this land? He said, you were asking too much. Moses shut him down. In fact, he said, you go up to the mountain and die. I'll bury you. Why? Because the people was going to do what? They was going to worship Moses. He didn't want nothing. He didn't want none of that. He didn't want none of that coupling. So we have to be very, very careful. Do you know that all the artifacts that they found, the Israelites, they coupled God? Most of the artifacts, God had a wife. Yeah, God had a wife. They found a statue of Yahweh and an Ashtaroth. I mean, they found all of it. We were doing this thing. This is why. It wasn't that we didn't believe in the Creator. We just always wanted the Creator to be happy. We told the Creator, it's not good for you to dwell alone, Almighty King. We're going to find you somebody. Yeah, we trying to make them like us. I know you lonely up there, God. We got somebody for you. We got a fertility deity. No, that's not how our God works. Hallelujah. Let us go to Deuteronomy 6:4. And then we're going to go into our lessons. Then we're going to go into a little praise and worship. Then we go to our last lesson. So I'm kind of excited. I want to hear these brothers. You know, anytime a brother got ninja stars and staffs that turn into daggers, I got to hear what he's talking about, brother. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Deuteronomy 6:4. You got ninja star David?
No.
Yeah, that'd be hard. Now. You got to step your game up. All right, Deuteronomy 6:4.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4.
Hallelujah.
Hear, Yahshua, the Most High Yah is one power. Verse 5. And you shall love the Most High your Yah with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart. And you shall repeat them diligently to your children and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bend them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as a token between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be when the Most High your power shall have brought you into the land which he swore to your father Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities which you did not build, and houses full of all good things which you did not fill, and sterns did which you did not dig, and vineyards, olive trees, did not plant, and you shall eat and be filled. Then take heed lest you forget the Most High your Yah, who brought you out from the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. You shall reverence the Most High, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after other gods, the gods of the people who are around about you. For the Most High is a zealous power among you, lest the anger of the Most High your Yah be kindled against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the earth.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So let's keep this rolling. We got a few teachers this beautiful Sabbath day, and I'm ready to get this information. So let me call up one of my brothers. You know, I was throwing information, we throwing information back and forth, and we had a lot of concepts that, you know, I think we need, and a lot of other brothers are going to agree with and build on. So I want to call my brother Adon Halim up here to give his portion. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
All right. Shabbat shalom, Ami. First of all, I want to give praise and respect and honor to the Most High Yah, because without him, none of the air that we breathe could be sustainable. So before I get into my lesson, I just want to make sure we give praise and homage to where it actually has to go, to the source. I wasn't all the way prepared for this. Nasi called me or texted me this morning, so I tried to put some things together kind of quickly. But you know, I was thinking about what I was saying earlier about a better you trapped inside of you, because sometimes we just go along our normal routines and our prescribed paths that life's kind of put us in, and we don't actually go out and find out what our total skill set is. So, and I was thinking about that, but and I typically train in certain aspects of martial arts, mainly weapons. Whatever I pick up, I want to be able to master it. And I was looking at certain scriptures, and I was noticing that I think 2 Samuel 23, when we looking at David's champions, there were certain brothers that just did some phenomenal, outrageous feats. I mean, one of the Hashmonite spearmen, he killed 800. I think it was Philistines with his spear at one time.
Wow,
so
wow.
there must have been a high skill level. And the other thing, though, when we deal with understanding how to fight and struggle and conflict, we also have to understand too how to avoid conflict. That's one of the main things in that discipline, is understanding when conflict comes up, how to avoid it. But then we also have to talk about the unavoidable situation. Can you give me Sirach, the 27th chapter, around the 15th verse?
15.
Yeah, while he's looking for that, yeah, so the whole thing about conflict is that we want to avoid it at all costs, because a lot of conflict can lead to you actually exiting this earth. So we want to be understanding of that first. So while we're going to talk about getting your skill set up to where, if your skill set is up enough, you probably won't even have to deal with any conflict, because people understand that certain brothers, certain sisters don't even go over there. That's just the wrong person to deal with. But you got it?
Come.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Sirach chapter 27, verse 15.
Read that real hard. All right.
The strife of the proud is bloodshedding, and their revealings are grievous to the elf.
So if you read it in another text,
to the ear.
To the ear. So it tells you that the proud, or the very prideful, when they quarrel, usually it leads to bloodshed. If you got two people just way too prideful, there's probably not going to be any room for atonement, or either just to have some sort of safe conclusion, because both members are proud. strong enough and their abilities are strong enough, it's probably going to lead to bloodshed. So we want to understand that we want to eliminate certain prides first and foremost, because you probably won't have a calmer head if there's two prideful parties. Give me that 25th verse in that same chapter.
25th verse, Sirach 27, 20, verse 25. Whoso casteth a stone on high, cast it on his own head.
So it says, so basically if you throw a stone up in the air, right, you can cast it, it can very well fall on your own head. And that's the same thing when you go out and you exact any type of vengeance. You can actually be causing problems to come on your own head. You might get off that at that point in time, but one, God's looking at that. So there might be something down the line, but it's coming. And two, in this society, we have law enforcement. So you're probably gonna go to jail. So we have to understand that before you want to exact certain vengeances, that there's going to be certain consequences that need to be considered. I go over to that last verse, I think verse 30.
Okay. Verse 30. Malice and wrath, even these are abomination to the sinful man, shall have them both.
So basically it's telling you that anger, wrath, these are sinful things, but a sinner actually masters those things. So what we want to do is not be masters of anger and wrath. Part of that's going to be removing some of that pride. I know that America, we get these understandings from the Gentiles. We go to school, we get their degrees, and we want certain respects from the props that we've attained from the Gentiles. So, and a lot of it comes out in pride because they're very prideful. So, what we want to understand is that we don't want to have any anger. We don't want to have too much pride or too much malice. These are sinners master these things. And since we are here as repenting Israelites on the day of rest, that the Most High has hallowed out for us, we want to make sure that we're not harboring anything that could promote sin. Can you go to verse 2 and 28?
Okay, this is
In that same book.
I got you, bro. This is Sirach 28 and 2. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee. So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
When you pray, that's right. So if you can forgive your neighbor, and that's your brother, right, for an offense that he's done, then when you pray, there's going to be forgiveness for you. So we also have to understand that a lot of this stuff, we have to have some forgiveness. But, so when we're dealing with conflict, a lot of it's going to be, some of it you made with this society, we might call it being a punk. Some of it might entail being a punk, backing off. Because a truly dangerous man, he doesn't have to tell you he's dangerous. He doesn't have to walk around like, I'm strapped. I got a sword. There's no need for all that. If you actually dangerous, just walk. But we have to understand too that we want to push certain aspects away so that we don't have to enact any type of punishment. Because me personally, if it has to go down, somebody's going to have to die. So I'd rather just walk in a regular path where I'm respecting life and life is being respected to me. So if it goes to any other levels, and a lot of it's going to be on myself, because I know that there's certain words, there's certain tones that I could come with that could eliminate the possibility of somebody having to die. So give me 6 through 8, and then we're going to jump over to First Maccabees.
28, 6 through 8.
Yes, sir. Okay. Read that real hard.
Remember, this is verse 6 through 8, Sirach 28, 6 through 8. Remember thy end and let enmity cease. Remember corruption and death and obey in the commandment. Remember the commandments and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest and wink at ignorance. Abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sin. For a furious man will kindle strife.
So a furious man will kindle strife. We want to abstain. We want to remember the commandments. We want to forgive our neighbors for wrongdoings. But we got certain situations that can arise where you might have to put some skill set into it. There might be situations where there's no rationale, there's no reason. And so something different courses have to be taken. Can you go over to First Maccabees, 2nd chapter? It's kind of long, but if you start in verse 29, while he's finding that, just a little bit of understanding on that. We had the Gentiles coming in. We got a lot of Israelites now. They're actually trying to be like the Gentiles so that they don't have any of the punishment. So they're actually not keeping law. They're hiding Sabbath. They're hiding their circumcision. Just all kind of stuff contrary to the law was going on in this period. But there was a family of priests, and one man and his sons and his brothers decided that they were going to put an end to this Gentile tyranny. You got me out?
Yeah, you also say first Maccabees 2:29.
Yeah, start at verse 29.
Okay.
Read that hard, real
Gotcha.
hard.
This is First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down to the wilderness to dwell there. Verse 30. Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore upon them. Verse 31. Now when it was told the king's servant and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David, that certain men who had broken the king's commandments were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness.
All right, so hold your spot right there. So we got certain Israelites, men, women, children. They even took their cattle. They decided to keep Shabbat. They decided to keep Shabbat in a secret place because they were actually being put to death for keeping Sabbath at that time. So they've actually gone out there. They're basically in the wilderness in like a cave, and certain people of the Gentiles, the king, they found out about what was going on, so they sent people. Go ahead, finish that up real quick.
Verse 32. They pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day.
On the Shabbat. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And they said unto them, let that which ye have done hitherto sacrifice, come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. Verse 34. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandments to profane the Sabbath day. Verse 35. So they gave them the battle with all speed. 36. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid.
So wait a minute, stop right there for 1 second. So now we're dealing with the Shabbat, right? And the Gentiles have come, and they come to destroy the Israelites for keeping the Most High's laws. And notice the brother had just read, they didn't even throw a stone. They didn't try to barricade, they didn't throw a stone. And at that point, they actually sinned. Go to Exodus 31, start at verse 13 and through verse 14. Because what happens is, and that's the reason why the story made mention of it. They didn't even try to stop them. They allowed themselves to be slaughtered on the holy day. You got that out?
Exodus 31:13.
Yes, and through 14. All right.
Okay, this is Exodus chapter 31:13. Speak to the children of Yahshuvel, saying, my Sabbath ye must keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generation.
Right.
That you may know that I am the Most High your Yah, who sacrifices you, who sanctifies you. Ye shall keep the Sabbath day, for it is holy to you. Everyone who defiles it shall surely be put to death.
All right, stop right there. So it said, anyone who defiles the Shabbat shall be put to death. Now, just to speed it up, I had looked up that word defile in the Hebrew. It was H2490, and it gives you the word kalah. And strangely enough, that word means to defile, profane, but then one of the definitions said to be wounded. And I said, no, wait a minute. So to be wounded at the Shabbat is profaning, is defiling the whole assembly. So they actually sinned letting this happen. Now go back to the chapter, First Maccabees, right? The second chapter, and start around the 40th verse. Start around verse 39.
Okay. Now, when Matthias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned.
They mourned because 1,000 of their brothers and sisters just allowed themselves to get slaughtered. Go ahead, all right.
For them right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathens, they will not quickly root us out of the earth.
Go ahead, all right.
41.
Read that real hard.
At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against them. Neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in the secret place.
So there we go. So now, the reason I wanted to bring that out is because right now it looks fine and dandy to keep the Shabbat. But I tell you, the temperature is going to raise up. It's going to get dangerous keeping the Shabbat very soon.
Right.
All we're going to have to do, right, is have certain Israelites, right? Certain celebrity Israelites that this culture has raised up. Once they start saying, look, you get LeBron saying, I'm not going to play in Game 5. I'm preparing for the Shabbat. Do you know what's going to happen? Certain influential brothers and sisters start doing this. The Ak was mentioning earlier about Ali. Okay? Some of us are not going to keep falling for the okie doke. Some of us are going to start to see that, listen, it's time to do right. It's time to come in this thing and keep these laws. And when certain of us do that, it's gonna take money out their pocket. When they start seeing us not out the clubs on Friday nights and not at the weekend doorbusters, guess what? They're gonna find out why is this going on. Certain camps gonna start being infiltrated. My whole point that I'm saying to you is, if, like Matthias, like he made that edict, he said, if they come and fight against us on the Shabbat, typically a lot of us people were thinking that this is arrested. We don't do nothing. We just be soft on the Shabbat. No, we will fight. And some of us don't know how to fight because it's just, we in this technological culture, this part of the world where we're just doing this, looking down. I mean, I asked some guys in my neighborhood, some young boys, throw a punch. Throw a kick. I mean, just all off balance. I'm like, but they know all the young Jeezy and Jock and whoever else. But certain things that's going to deal with your well-being, you can't do it. If somebody comes to your house, if you got a house, you got a wife, you got children, if you don't even have it, if it's just you there, you have to have certain provisions to protect yourself. Keep going on. I want you to go to verse 64. We're going that same chapter.
All right. Verse 64. Wherefore, ye my son, be vigilant, and sue yourself, men in the behalf of the law, for by it ye shall obtain glory.
You shall obtain glory. So there we have it. So when we talking about, the God has told his sons, be courageous. Be courageous. And keep the law. Because it will give you glory. It'll bring you glory. So we understand. What I'm trying to explain now is that certain aspects of conflict are avoidable. Some are not avoidable. But the ones that we can't avoid, we do that. But the ones that we can't avoid, because this whole thing, when you go through this thing, you read in Chronicles, you read in Kings, you get to see that Samuel, you get to see the Hebrews were some bad boys. This was nothing to be playing with. This was very serious. And when we're talking about having a nation, part of a nation is being able to protect it. You don't hear none of these people that's at G8 conferences or summit meetings. They're not there because they're there because they have military. That's the only reason why the world respects them, is because they are ready to fight. Some of us want sovereignty, but we want to go fill out paperwork. What? You want to write down on some paper so somebody can respect you as a person, as a nation? The other nations, the China, what paper did they write on? What papers did the Koreans write on, or any of these sovereign nations? They did it because they got respect because they're not scared to shed blood. And that's the whole part of it. So we have to understand that while we have a peaceful part to this, just like Solomon was talking about in Ecclesiastes, there's going to be a time for building, a time for healing, a time for tearing down, a time for killing. So we cannot eliminate that aspect of it. I know that we come in here on the weekend and week out, and we like these messages of peace, but some of it's going to be war. Okay? Give me Exodus 15:3. Let's see what Yah's spirit is about war.
So Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. The Most High is a mighty warrior. Yah is his name.
So it says, some of the King James will say Yah is a man of war. Some of the texts will say Yah is a warrior. But you get to kind of see that too, that there was no aspects of Yah that was supposed to be soft. He's a warrior. And since David was a man of his own heart, David was a warrior, and the Most High loved him. So that's the whole point of it. Now, where did I want to go? Let's go over to, I'm going to end this up with Psalms 18, go to 34, 32. And what we want to do is we do want to start instilling some, some training. If people would be interested in that, we would like to get together maybe once or twice a week, 3 times a week, get some calisthenics in, because that's going to be the number one. Because if you don't have the wind to fight, you're not going to be able to do it. A lot of people just think fighting is one of those things that's easy to do, but you got to be conditioned for it. That's a tough thing. A lot of people after 7 seconds, they don't have the wind for it. So the main thing to it is you're going to have fitness with this. You're going to have some fitness to it. There's going to be other disciplines as well. And that main one, like I said, is when there's conflict, you have to know how to avoid these conflicts. So you got that Psalms 18.
Psalm 18, 34.
32. Sorry, 32.
32, okay. It is Yah that girds me with strength and makes my way perfect. He makes my feet like harp's feet and sets me upon high places. He trained my hands to war.
Trains my hands for war.
And
what else?
Strengthened my arm like a bow of brass.
So trains your hands for battle. So when Yah is actually with you, when you start keeping commandments, because there were certain aspects. I used to like to watch the movies and stuff, but when I was a kid, I took Taekwondo, and I remember I used to get in trouble in the class because there was a situation that would always happen, because most of the Taekwondo movements are just pretty straight. They don't leave they don't leave too much room for freestyle. And so because of that, one thing that always used to happen in class, when people would kick, I would always catch the kick. And it wasn't a situation that I was trying to do it. It was just that was what the skill set used to allow me to do. It was always, I could always just turn and throw the cuff, and when the foot's coming back, I just catch it. And the sensei, he would just get so angry every time. He'd give me a spanking, all of that, just because I was able to catch this kick. But what I was thinking is, if we do implement something, whatever skills, because there's going to be certain things that come out in sparring. There's going to be certain, and we can implement them, and not to just try to limit people to a certain range of motion, but implement these things, because all of this is valid when you learning self-defense, learning how to protect yourself, learning how to protect your home.
Hallelujah.
So, if anything comes out, incorporate it. Because there's certain aspects. Now, if one of these Taekwondo dudes get out here on the street and get in a fight, and somebody catch their foot, and then there's no sensei there to come whoop the dude, then, for doing it, then, that cat with the foot in the air, he's in trouble. So we have to understand that, I want to be inviting, inclusive of whatever people can bring to the table when it comes to, self-defense. We talked about that bow. We also want to incorporate weapons. It may sound a little disheartening to some of the sisters, but brothers and sisters need to be at the range knowing how to shoot. My customers, some of my, it scares me, because there's little kids that can put 25 shots in an area of my fist. And I don't know if there's anybody in this room that can do that. And there's children. Okay, I see. But there's children out here that can do that. Okay, so one of my cousins, his wife can do it. And she's like she's not a specimen or anything. So if she can do it, anybody in here can do it. So also, I like silence too. I like silence. So a lot of a bow, that's it's a very nice weapon to learn, because one, I've heard some Buddhist monks say that the archery is one of those expressions that come through without even talking. There's really no words to explain it, because you have to. They had this term called wu-wei. It means let it happen. And so, when the archer is pulling back on the bow, right, and he's setting his sights and he's got his target, there's really no way to explain except to let it happen. So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to leave you today by saying that thank you for letting me come up and speak today, and but be seriously, diligently thinking about your training, because not only is it going to help with your hands and showing you this wonderful individual that's trapped inside of you, but it's also going to help out with your aesthetics. And go ahead, sister.
Are you going to have an answer question period before you leave?
Is that okay? Because I know the other brother got to get up and go ahead.
Oh, okay. Now with all this knowledge that you're giving us, how do we sign up to learn?
Well, what we're trying to do, we haven't got anything set in stone. I think we talked about coming on Tuesdays.
Tuesday?
Yeah, I think the congregation meets on Tuesdays anyway, right? Correct? So yeah, we can do something every Tuesday evening. And what we got to do first is see what everybody's strength level is, like, you know, what your activity level is, because there's going to be some stuff that's maybe too advanced for others, so we need to bring everybody along.
That's what I wanted to know.
Okay, yeah, we just want to
For the elements,
increments.
you know, what,
Yeah, but you're never too old, because anybody in this society can be a victim, and the thing is,
yeah.
you want to minimize that, watching your surroundings, understanding at certain times you want to not even be out to be in any types of situations. So all of that's part of it. Yeah, something like.
Implement me, myself, Nasi, also you know what I'm saying, get together to see how perform that should be more than 1 day a week.
Yeah, it really needs to be every day. I noticed that certain skills, if I miss a day and I go back to it, it's like I really got to start working at certain things because I missed just 1 day. So you can kind of see why certain basketball players, the greats, they practice constantly, because you know certain things go on in life. 1 day of missed training could throw you off, and you might need that day to have a, to keep going, because life and death situations do occur out here. I was actually involved in a shooting a couple years ago, and I was nervous at first, but after everything went down, I realized like it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard, and I have concealed carry permits, so it's not like I'm just a Negro out here walking around with guns. If the police came in here right now, I could show them proper ID and it would be cool. But I strongly suggest that if we can all get together, let's do it. It'll make everybody healthier, make everybody better, and you'll start to see that person that's trapped inside of you come out. Shabbat shalom.
Come on, Shabbat shalom.
Hallelujah. Thank the Most High for our brother Don Halim bringing that information, which is definitely needed. There's a lot of different angles where we're being sacrificed as a male, and we don't really realize it. Like, perfect example. What makes you soft as a male? I have to give you examples that you don't even consider at times. What is a male job? To protect. So let me ask you a question. How is a man walking down the street protecting anybody doing this?
Preach on that one. Right. Stay on the phone.
You ever seen that lady that was texting and she fell into the fountain in the wall? It was a lady, it's on YouTube, you check it out. She was texting and she fell into the fountain, but the sad part about it is she feels like she destroyed her life. Like she embarrassed herself, she's on YouTube, she can't take it, she's depressed now. Everybody's seen her text and fall into the fountain. But it's just, as a male, we're so into things that have nothing to do with being a male that we're easily sucked in. So now, one of the things is you realize that animals have longer relationships than humans. And studies show that the reason why this is happening is because a male and a female animal understand their roles. And their roles are a necessity for the survival of their offspring. What happens in our community when you remove our roles, it's easy for us to separate and break up because we don't understand why we need each other. So once you take a male out of being a male, then a male is no longer needed. He's no longer needed. We were over-taught sometimes to be too protective. We was taught in New York, we were taught, hey, don't hold your woman's hand. Don't walk down the street with your hand behind her neck. Like, we smart. That's what we were taught, you know what I mean? But it's wrong. But their concept was that nobody would try you if you look tough. If you walking down the street holding hands, and then they add a little extra, they put a little skip in it, like you're skipping and stuff like that. They say people will try you because you're soft. Well, they might have some kind of, they was in the right direction, but they were off a lot, right? But what they're saying is your job is to be aware, to be protective of your surroundings and your scenery, right? So if you're this dominant male and you're walking with your family, then it's your job to be alert of what's going on around you. Your job is to make sure that they're transferred safely from one area to another. You know, and this is where these concepts, we see a lot of Hebrews, brothers have wives in Oklahoma. Brother, you got a wife in Oklahoma and a wife in St. Louis. Yeah, you know, but I'm just being nice. But what I'm saying is, how is he doing his job? He's not. So the concept of being the male has to be applied all there, and even training the kids to become disciplined, instructing them in certain areas. We have to keep that up, and that's why what he's saying is very imperative. We learn more, and I like how he brought out the aspect of, and he said, when he used the word halal, he used the word to be wounded. Like it should have been instinct for us just to respond to slaughter, but we become so zealous sometimes we ignorant. That we're ignorant. And we have to step away from that. We have to be able to be responsive, to be able to respond for the survival of our people. And as males, we have to be aware of that all the time. Right. So I thank the brother for bringing his information. We're gonna hear more from him, and you know, hopefully we get more time. And we got a lot of brothers in here, you know, that's gonna be teaching. So hopefully we can get some words from them. You know, we got a whole group full of teachers, and that's the blessing of it. I want to hear all my brothers and sisters. So now we got my brother. So I'm gonna get that thing on. Let's turn the projector on. Dim the lights. All right. So I'm wait for this. This is gonna. It better be good too, it don't. You know, Israelites, the lights go off, everybody's gonna be asleep. Wake up, hallelujah, hallelujah. Right? So we got Adon Yosef, and I want to give you, while he walking down here, I want to tell you a little about Yosef. Yosef is not a man of many words, right? But I just fell in love with that brother, man. Just because he wasn't a man of many. It's like me and him, we don't really have to say nothing. We just good. Shalom, everything good. That's it. That's all we good. We good, but we understand each other. And there's different aspects. Like I went for a walk with him one time, and you know, I like to during the Sabbath, I like to go for my little walks and commune and talk with the Creator, get in touch with the environment. You know, just get a lot of stuff off your mind, right? So me and Yosef walked, and usually I don't walk. I walk if I'm walking, I'm talking to somebody, giving them my advice or opinions or something. But me and him was walking. We were just going to see Elder Abraham. So we were just talking about things that happen inside of our lives that shows glitches in the matrix. There's things that's going to happen in your life to show you that there's something weird about this world. You're going to see it for what it is. This is just like some kind of generated thing that we're living in. But there's certain glitches in life that you are able to have breakthroughs that you can see past beyond all of this. So there's certain things where, you know, when you're a child, you may go through stuff. You may have been sleeping and you felt the bread trembling. Anybody ever been there? No? I'm not saying that happened to me, but no, it happened to me many times. I felt the bed trembling. I mean, and I always try to lock myself in. You ever had that time when you really wanted to talk to God and you just sat up waiting for God? No. Y'all religious, ain't y'all? Y'all never try to talk to God? Yeah. So the times you waiting for God to come, you're like, I'm waiting for you, God. You gonna talk to me tonight? You wait up, you stand all around, you waiting for things to happen. And then there's certain things that happen to give you a sign that the Creator is watching. So, you know, me and him was just talking about things that sometimes if you tell other people, they're going to say you're crazy. So a lot of times we keep it to ourselves. Right. We don't want to seem crazy. I don't care about I'm crazy. I really don't. I'll tell you some stuff. And if you don't accept it, it's okay because I'm not afraid to be me. I used to live a life. I was confined to being what other people wanted me to be. I was born in New York. I moved to California when I was about 8 or 9 years old. So I spent 6 years in California, 6 to 7 years in California. And in that I was raised around Europeans and Hispanics, right? So much so that I wanted to be them that I didn't even know I was black. I had no idea. I didn't like the girl in the class. It was me. I was the only black boy. She was the only black girl. They used to tease me because I had braids in my head. They used to call me a girl. You know? But the girl liked me. I didn't like her because she was black. Yeah, you know? So I didn't, hey, she was black, man. I wanted the girl with the green eyes and the freckles. Yeah, I want her. Yeah. But in my mind, I started to grow up because I wanted to be everything everybody wanted. I even went to a stage in life where I joined a gang that wasn't even a good gang. This gang didn't even last a week. You know what I'm saying? People wasn't even really claiming it. I was the only fool claiming it. Like, yeah, I was on side Village Gangsters. What you know, like, what is that? I don't know. People getting out the game. I joined things because I always wanted to fit in. I always wanted to be a part. I always wanted to just be what everybody else wanted me to be. And I got to a point in the life and I said, I want to be me. I want to be who I am. I want to be a creative person. I used to draw comic books. I used to have all type of concepts in my head that I would create and nobody would understand. I was just doing so much. But that was when I enjoyed myself. When you start becoming sad and depressed, it's because you're not being you. It doesn't fit. You being somebody else just doesn't fit. Your body doesn't like it. I don't like this new us. That's what it's telling you. I don't like this new us. Let's break free from it. So hopefully these concepts and ideas that what the brother said, he said, if there's a fighting style, and this is certain things that I like to share too, because there was an aspect when I was in martial arts that we was taught shoulder calm. And similar to Taekwondo, there was like straight movements. Force, bomb, straight movements, right? And there was, my father did eagle claw. So my father would teach swooping movements and stuff like that were different than the aspect of shoulder calm. So in that, we had to realize that there was something that I added that my father gave me that was outside of the box of my teacher. And when I was sparring with my teacher, I caught my teacher. And he said, where did you learn that from? And there's Crown Prince Orisha, if you ever get a chance, you see him, he comes to a teach a lot. He was my martial art teacher. He said, where did you get that from? That was beautiful. I told him my father, I felt good about myself, boy. He couldn't tell me that, boy. I felt good. But why? It's because sometimes you can only advance and be progressive when you think outside the box. Oh, yeah. If you go to a place where they want you in the box, get out of there. Yeah. Get out of there. If you have ideas and concepts where they say we don't want that here, get out of it. Because they don't want you there. Right. There's different personalities in this world. How can you create a congregation that only wants you to be like the teacher? The teacher is supposed to teach you to be the best you, not the best them. Be the best you. Stop being what everybody else wants you to be and be who God created you to be. I don't know if yours is ready. What happened? You're not ready? All right, so we're behind time. So. Anybody like to read a song or proverb? Hey, you gotta go back to old school. I'm about to go traditional. Anybody like to read a song or proverb? That's what becoming handy, right? I know some people want to read a song or proverb. Huh? I wasn't teaching. I'm trying to help them. You know how good it feels sometimes when you ain't got. When I write lessons, I stay up all night, or then I had to get up early in the morning, and I put in that work. And sometimes it feels good to hear other brothers. Like when I sit in and I watch you walk back and forth, you know what you're talking about, and that feels good to me. It makes me feel like I have some assurance in areas that maybe individuals are weak, and you're developing me in them areas. Like we had a discussion in the Shomer Torah room, like all the brothers want the muscles, right? So they always get the chest muscles, the chest and arms, right? But what don't we work out? The legs, right? But the truth is, that's the area you're supposed to work out because that's your weakest aspect in order for you to be balanced as an individual. So things in life that's uncomfortable for you to do, you actually have to do it to be a balanced person. That's right. So when people say stuff that may be out of your comfort zone, then check it out. It might actually bring you into becoming a more balanced person. Right. Because you're fighting yourself. You're fighting yourself. So the Almighty has definitely blessed us. And Hallelujah. You want to read? Can you see? All right. So, all right. Go ahead.
It is good to give thanks unto the Lord, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to declare your loving kindness in the morning, and your faithfulness in the night season, with an instrument of 10 strings and with a psaltery, with a solemn sound upon the harp. For thou, Most High, hast made me glad with thy works. I will exalt in thy works of thy hands. How great are thy works, O Most High! Thy thoughts are very deep. A foolish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand it. In the wicked schemes of the grass, and all the workers iniquity do serve. It is that they may be destroyed forever. But thou, O Most High, art high forevermore. Below thy enemies, O Yah, below thy enemies shall serve. All the workers of the wicked shall be served. When my horn has thou suffered me while I rejoiced in the poor. My eyes also have gazed on them that lie in wait for me. My ears have heard my desire of the evildoers that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a tree in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Yah, they shall flourish in the courts of our house. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be full of fat and rich. Declare that the Most High is upright and all our children no unrighteous.
Elohe Avotenu, Elohe Abraham, Elohe Yitzchak, Elohe Yaakov, Elohe Yahzeh Yom Masah Yawani Gilahu Yismechavo. This is the day that Yah has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Today we have a lot of things to discuss. My name is Yosef, and I've had a lot of challenges today. Had a lot of challenges that I normally don't have. Most of the times in our lives, we don't realize that we're challenged so the Most High can see what's in us. And we don't know what's in us until we challenge. I like to call it the Deuteronomy 8:3 test. And if somebody can read Deuteronomy chapter 8, Devarim chapter 8 and verse 3.
It's a Devarim 8 and 3. And he humbled you and suffered you to hunger and fed you with manna which you did not know, neither did your fathers know, that he might make you to understand that man does not live by bread alone, but by every thing that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High does man live.
Hallelujah. So it says, man does not live by bread alone. In that translation, they use the word thing, which comes from the word devar, which can be translated as thing or matter, but by every word that proceeds out of his mouth. I believe the Father asked us to do what we're called to do. One thing I'm supposed to do, I know, is supposed to be teaching. That's one thing, to be honest, I've been running from. I'd rather stay behind the scenes. I'd rather do things for people behind the scenes. I'm about action. I just like getting stuff done. I don't like talking about it. I don't like doing